Well, again, that's going to depend on how many lights you use. Back to the same thing. So, Andy, I know you like really did a whole bunch of different circuits and everything else because while you're doing your lights. So
Yeah, I mean, what you want to do is make sure when you set up your racks per circuit that you're staying at 80% of what that rack or that circuit can handle. For us, two T5s times 6 shelves times 8 racks total can run on one 20 amp circuit, and that keeps it in that 80% range. If I were to add on 2 more racks and make it 10 racks, you can. But the problem is if you get any little tiny surge in electric, you're going to blow that outlet right up. So make sure you keep it low enough to where if there's a surge, it's not going to hurt anything. That's highly recommended by any electrician you talk to. You should never overload a circuit more than 80%. So for us, that's 8 racks with six grow shelves per rack and 2 lights per shelf. So
As a side note, to do the math to calculate how many amps, watts equals amps times volts. So take that math into consideration so you can kind of do the multiples, how many you can put on each circuit.
And if you're in a commercial space versus being residential is not going to be able to hold as much load as a commercial is. You're going to have higher circuits. Yep. So it all depends on where you're at too and where you're growing. So a lot of factors in that. But we can help you out if you ever want to get a hold of us, any of us, I'm sure.
Yeah, because a lot of outlets in your house are going to be 15 amps. So they're not going to support as much as commercial, which is typically 20 amp. So just make sure, consult with an electrician. That would be my #1 recommendation. Tell them exactly what you're doing. And then that way you can stay within that safe range. Because trust me, we literally had an outlet almost burst into flames in our house at one point, and I've almost had one here do the same. Because we had 2 sets of racks plugged into the same outlet. Didn't even think about it. They both kicked on, and next day that outlet was almost cooked. So it can get real dangerous if you don't know what you're doing. So that's when we consulted with an electrician, made sure we stayed within our range, and that's what works out perfect for us.
And most of your power output is when they turn on. That's when it's going to really put their strain on it.